Greetings all. Day 4 of COVID. I can be pretty stoic, when it comes to pain and discomfort and things until it lingers. Yes. And now that we're in day 4 and I'm kind of sore in the throat, nose hurts, sneezing some, yet I'm tired of it. Like I say, I'm in my grouch phase at this point. Yeah, we'll see what gets on my nerves. Well, I'll tell you, it's still that AI. Oof, boy. Yeah, I did that thing, there a while ago about AI and Mark Twain. Well, yeah, sure. I can't get away from this. Even though I turned off, all the microphones in the house, turned off the cameras and everything, but because I contribute to YouTube, Google chased me around, and next thing I know, I got Mark Twain pops up on YouTube for me to watch. I got Microsoft chasing me around too, because I've been emailing the solar rep. And now I got ads all over Microsoft browser for solar stuff. It just, it gets annoying. Now, I'm glad they put up quotes by Mark Twain, frankly. Yes, that's really what inspired this video. But nevertheless, it feels so much like I have mice in the walls. It's like having a termite infestation. I mean, no matter how careful I am, it's like, clean the counters and whatnot, but you still got roaches. Well, I got AIs. Yeah, they're all over the place. Eesh. Swat, 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 swat. I don't know how the rest of you feel, but I know there are others that have the same feeling. I know my son was suggesting a particular television I could have bought when I cracked this one that standard won't track me around, just, it's in the last couple years that I'm really getting my sampling, I think, of what the future holds for us. Looking at the current trends, I guess. Again, for me, it's like having vermin in the house. It's like, you go to sleep at night and you hear something scratching in the attic. You go, oh, darn, I got mice. I'm going to have to deal with that, or they're going to eat through my comic book collection or something, right? AI is the same way, man. And right now, it's just, for me, day 4 COVID, it's annoying. Anyhow, as I was, again, any email, it doesn't really make any difference, since I do use, spell check and punctuation checks. And I might even get them coming from more than one source, I think. But so I'm well aware that some program somewhere is reading every word, but I tend to go ahead and allow my computer to update. And so somewhere along the line, this checking, automatic checking stuff has been getting more and more intense, even though I have not, requested it. It's just happening as the programs evolve, and I've just let it in. And so, now, like on a Android, where I'd start typing and it'd second guess the next 4 words, and say, this is what you think you're going to say. And I go, no, that wasn't what I would. Well, no, my Yahoo email browser and my Google Mail are doing the same thing. Now they're second guessing the next several words in my sentence, and well, I could tell you on occasion, if they guessed one word, they might be right. Most of the time it's wrong. No, that wasn't what I was thinking. Well, so, with that in mind, I probably mentioned before that I did well in English in school, and I enjoyed it. I do. And I like literature. These days, I don't read as much as I used to. I've switched my life to video images. But boy, I used to read. And I read most of our great American authors and so on. I'm not real well read internationally. Some South American, and that, but no, it's mostly the great American authors, and of all of them, Samuel Clemens has always been my favorite. I really enjoyed Mark Twain. I kind of grew up in the area of the country where he was from, and well, his colloquial vernacular that he spoke in his pen, that is the native tongue, the way we say things in the Midwest and in Missouri. Yeah, it appealed to me. I, having come out of school, I had been taught the righteousness of the language, proper pronunciation of things, and you just don't use ain't, all right, stuff like that, and then I really started digging into Twain's work, and particularly the stuff that impressed me the most were the editorials he had written for the St. Louis paper over the years. They're collected. Anybody who's interested in Samuel Clemens, if you haven't read that stuff, we'll pick it up, because so much of it, in a way, it reminds me of today. It was during the monkey trials, Clarence Darrow, the what do you call it, Darwin versus creationist type thing, and oh, did he have so much to say on that in his editorials? Wow. I think that was one there, my favorite. Maybe one of these days I'll read that one for you. It's about him comparing all of the time that the Earth has been around to the Eiffel Tower, how all the layers of stuff that had to come, the gastropods and the zoopods, and so we're way down here, of course the oyster had to come about, because way up there at the top of the Eiffel Tower, there's this tiny little flake of paint, and of course a tiny little flake of paint is the time that man's been on Earth, and well, God knew that man was going to have the oyster. He was great. Anyway, yeah. Check that stuff. But he was irreverent, he was sarcastic, he was humorous always. Depended on what side of his humor you were on, but yeah, he was imperfect. He drank, he gambled, he smoked cigars. My kind of guy. Anyway. Yeah, this is the war I'm having with myself over all this AI stuff, because here we have this guy who I idolize. I think his writing was just wonderful. And I don't think it can be duplicated by any artificial intelligence. And I think the primary reason why an AI might be able to imitate humor, or it might be able to imitate sarcasm, but I don't think, at least not currently, and for a while, that a program could do such a thing. It's life conditioning. It's the effect of the environment of being alive, as Bill Merrill, or as being alive as anyone on Earth. Each and every one of us have a unique condition, a unique reaction to this experience here. And some of us have, the way we react to it. Obviously, that we have great comedians and things, we have prophets, seers, all this stuff. In my book, the comedians are the ones, as far as I'm concerned. And I don't visualize machine humor. This is a bottom problem for me, okay? I don't visualize that. And I think if I could, or if machines did develop humor, I think that's a place where we're all in trouble. Because remember, anything that artificial intelligence, up to this point at least, has ever learned, it learned it from us, okay? It learned how to be, maybe, to some extent, from us. I mean, it's been emulating human beings. Well, we're not a perfect model. And so, yeah, I do fear if it ever took it in its mind to say, hey, I have a joke. Oh, look at this. Hey, meat apes are a pain. You know, let's use their missiles against them. Whatever. Who knows? It's all possibilities, but I don't think I can visualize a machine sense of humor. No, I'm not. You know, my world is plants. So I'm not an expert on this, but it is intruding in my life. And as it intrudes in my life, I look at it, and like anything, I analyze it, I evaluate it. I don't go with the flow of the rest of the herd out there. Okay, so what does this mean to me? You know, well, perhaps showing my age here, but it matters in this case in that I started with a pencil and a pen, right? When I began having to write and learning how to write. It was the only tool I knew how to use. Well, if you're working on a term paper or a book report or whatever it might be, you know, in school where I learned these things, you're in a quiet place. Maybe you're working in the library. Maybe you're working in a study space in your house, whatever. But me and the pen, really quiet. Yeah, no distractions, hopefully. Got the door shut. My brother doesn't come around. You know, fire alarm doesn't go off in the library. There's peace. Well, later, I learned how to type. We had typewriters. We had, you know, the electric typewriters were around in those days. I remember my mother as a stenographer making the transition in the early 1960s or somewhere in there. I don't know. Electric typewriters, and I always liked the old-fashioned mechanical ones. Everybody's throwing them out anyway, so I could get them for nothing. I like the noise. Ding, 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 ding. It's like a drum set. Anyway, I really did. I used to type to the rhythm of the sound of the typewriter and think to it almost. It's like, maybe it's, you know, crosses over because I play music too. But, and again, it was peace and meditation. Typewriter let me know when I hit the end of the line, but it doesn't talk back otherwise, you know. Now, I sit down and I start working on emails, you know, is where most of my typing goes on these days. I don't type stories or anything anymore. But it's pop, 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 just like mice. It's like insects crawling across the page. This is what you want to say, you know. No, that wasn't what I had in mind. Yeah. And, you know, for most of us, this is all going to be okay. This is probably not going to matter. The only thing is one thing leads into another, leads into another, leads into another. And what I'm seeing, a world of sameness. Nah, that's my fear. I see a world of sameness. I don't see a world of Samuel Clemens with individual and unique personalities when it comes to any kind of, you know, writing or, you know, stuff put forward. I don't like being edited by machines. I've almost daily these days, I think of Aldous Huxley and Brave New World. Again, if you haven't read that one, you really ought to. I think, at least, as being required reading. because he covered so much, almost in a seer-like fashion from the early 20th century into where things would go. He didn't get it exact. There's no flying cars. They want them, but there aren't any. But it was in there that society did separate. So the technological type of planned obsolescence society, focused on pleasures and whatever, and work, and then the primitives, people who lived out there in New Mexico in the desert like natives had, because they just don't want any part of that. Sometimes I feel a bit like the primitives a bit. Yeah, I'd be not telling the truth if I'd say, hey, I like technology too. I do. I think it'll be pretty darn interesting, since there are hundreds of quotes from guys like Samuel Clemens, Mark Twain. If somebody was to take some of those quotes, alter them maybe just enough that they weren't Twain's quite anymore, and then subjected them to some of this AI rewrite stuff and see what the heck comes out of it, it would be pretty fascinating to find out if you subjected Mark Twain to an AI, what would happen. Yeah. Well, I hear my cat, so I guess Gracie says, it's time. Uh-oh, this must be serious. What's up, girl? Huh? Oh, you all wet. Well, yeah, Gracie is soaked. She just come in through the cat door. She's usually going to wait for me to be the Walmart doorman and open the door for her, but if she come in like that, this is dead serious. All right, I'll get the towel, girl. We'll dry you off. All right. Oh. Look at you. You are so wet. What'd you do? You fall in the pond, or has it been raining? Ah, it's been raining, yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Holy smoke, are you soaked? Cats like being this wet? Look at you. My goodness. All right, well, no more about AIs, huh? Nope.